Hey guys, Marcinkin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the EZA for the character whose name I can never remember how you're supposed to say. Is it just KYAWEI or is it KYAWEI? I don't know. But the TEQ universe, actually I don't even remember what universe she's from, but the TEQ girl from the Tournament of Power. I remember on release, like, she was actually relatively good, considering she's just a random, like, the Peppy Gals banner that comes out and has 2 featured characters, considering all the stuff that she could do. And post EZA, she definitely has a very, very long passive. Now, she only has one 200% leader in the game, though, which is Roshi, because, of course, he's a 200% leader for all Peppy Gals characters. I don't have Roshi, I didn't summon for him, so I'm using a team with Videl, obviously for the 170 lead, and then a friend Roshi, so close to what we'd see on a full 200% team. She is obviously fully linked level 10. I've never given her any skill orbs because I've not really used her. Funnily enough, I wouldn't be surprised if the last time I actually ever used this unit was when she first came out, and I did like the initial video about her, if I even did one, because like that Peppy Gals banner is not something that I normally summon on. I didn't summon on this one either, because saving all those stones for heroes. But yeah, we'll just jump in and see what she can do. So she has a Peppy Gals lead for 3 key 150. Her super attack is greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage, and greatly lowers attack and defense. So she has really good super attack effect. And then look at her passive. So key plus 4, attack and defense 140%, additional attack and defense 140% when there's another Peppy Gals ally on the team. So obviously easy enough to do that. Additional attack and defense 140%, and a great chance of an additional 40% when performing a super. So she's going to get 140% on super with a great chance of getting an extra 40 as well. So there's a great chance it's 180% on super. She has a great chance to stun, high chance to launch an additional attack, high chance to evade enemy attacks. So she's got 50% crit chance, 50% dodge. Chance to dodge plus 20% when there is a tournament participants category enemy. So if there is, she has a 70% chance to dodge. Then she gets an additional 40% defense and attacks effective against all types when performing a super if the target enemy is attack down or defense down or sealed. Attacks become a guaranteed crit and get an additional super attack when performing a super if the target enemy is stunned. So she can do a ton of stuff, although a lot of the stuff does require the enemy to be under status effects, which of course there are still a lot of events where we can't do that. We are starting to get more now where you actually can, so that is kind of useful. But yeah, I mean, the problem is for the tournament participants enemy, I guess it just does just give her extra dodge chance, so it's not like the end of the world if you don't have it, but there's not really a huge amount of events. I ended up jumping into like the red zone cell stage because obviously he is a tournament participant character. And we got Infighter, Tournament of Power, and Battlefield Diva here. 233k defense, start of turn. Now, bear in mind, she is going to get 140% on super, right? So if we take like 230k plus 140%, she's going to be going up to 552. She also greatly raises defense. That's another like 100k, so about 650. But then, of course, if she does get the great chance to raise her by the extra 40%, then obviously it's going to be 180%. So that puts her straight up to like 650 plus the super attack effect. So she could be at about 750k defense, whilst also having a 50% chance to dodge, and then a 70% chance to dodge if it's a tournament participants enemy. So that is pretty good. The thing is with the team that she's on, maybe like the team with double Roshi would be a little bit better. I might have just got really unlucky, but I tried jumping into the stage, obviously Global only has 4 stages currently, the 4th stage of the Universe Survival Saga Blue Zone, and literally like the Blue Boys just like soloed Bulma in slot 1 before she could even do anything. So, I mean, we got the stun, which means if we get the additional super, yeah, 10 mil, and now she gets guaranteed crit because the enemy is stunned, as well as all the other bonuses that she gets. And then there's, okay, I mean, she's one of those units that, like I say, you wouldn't expect, like, oh yeah, this unit's going to be really good. Although I think both the banner units, like the 2 new Peppy Gals units from this year, are pretty good. But in the right circumstances, when you're actually getting, like, the status effects on the enemy and stuff like that, definitely seems like she could be really, really good. I've also just realised, of course, that by bringing a Videl friend, Roshi doesn't get the leader skill from her. He also doesn't get any links from Kale and Caulifla. And then Caulifla wonderfully not dodging the super attack in slot 1. 736k, let's go. Okay, well, good times. On a team that is pretty much basically full Peppy Gals. Let's just run it with a Videl friend, just because I know a lot of people didn't summon for Roshi. I mean, it already wasn't going to be a 200% leader skill showcase anyway, because I was having to use my own Videl, right? So we only had the friend 200% lead. I'm worried about relying on Caulifla now, so let's do this. Can't get a lot of orbs for you, but I guess that's fine this early on. And then we'll do this. Yeah, that's the problem with her only being on the Peppy Gals team. Like, Peppy Gals has gotten some decent buffs, but I say only on the Peppy Gals team. Obviously, in terms of 170 teams, she is on a couple of the other categories as well. Things like tournament participants. I guess that could be an interesting team if you're only running her on like a 170 lead, running the double int TOP androids, because they do give a lot of support, which means they probably are helping her out a little bit better than Videl. I mean, Videl obviously links better with her, but she would be getting the support and everything from the TOP androids. She obviously doesn't get the 200% lead from them. Like I say, she only gets the 200% lead from Roshi, and that's just because he is a straight 200% like Peppy Gal's leader. So yeah, let's see. So we got Battlefield Diva Tournament of Power and just Battlefield Diva with you. See, I shouldn't have floated off Caulifla. I floated off Caulifla so I could get it together with Kale, and then I'm going to end up using you on this rotation, so that's annoying. Well, it is what it is. So 200k start of turn here when she's on the double 170s. We can get the support from Bulma, though, so that pushes her up to 230. And then let's grab that for you. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much what the rest of the team are doing. But yeah, 8.1 is the first attack stat. I mean, that's still pretty solid, all things considered. Double 170 team. Then we get the stun, but we don't get the additional super from the passive. And sadly, her passive is one of those ones where it's worded, she has a chance to get an additional super. Not, she has an attack that has a chance to be a super. Because it means if you don't get the RNG, she just doesn't do an additional attack at all. Whereas at least with the other way round, you always get an additional attack. So even if it just ends up being a normal, it means you have attacked an extra time in the turn, which can mean like you can proc the hidden potential additional, like you get an extra chance at that. So that is definitely the much better, a much preferred way of wording like units having additionals in their passive. But I mean, we saw obviously in the first part with the Roshi friend, her getting the triple super turn and doing pretty much 30 million attack stat worth of attacks in one turn, which is pretty good. But some of that will be down to having put the stun on the enemy. Obviously getting the guaranteed crit for that is really good as well. But there's going to be like these more difficult events where she is not able to put on these status effects, and then obviously isn't going to look as good. But it would be interesting trying her out in the other stages of the Universe Survival Saga Blue Zone. Maybe on a different team that was slightly better defensively overall. Because having that 70% dodge chance against tournament participant enemies is pretty good. So if we do this, yeah, we'll just get the 5 orbs for you. Gives everyone the support. Then we're picking up Tournament of Power here from Caulifla, which at level 10 is a key link, but at level 10 we do get 7% extra attack and defense. So she's at 245 start of turn here. So let's go ahead and see what we get from KYAWEI. KYAWEI? I don't know. Let me know how you guys pronounce it down below in the comments, which I know is difficult because you have to type it phonetically. I was going to say, watch me say, like, how do you guys say her name? And then all the replies are just people typing her name exactly as it is written in the game. But yeah, 7.4. I would say then that means with the extra link and the support, that means last turn she did get the extra 40%, but this time she didn't, right? Because the attack stat is lower. We do get the additional super, though, with the stun. And then, yeah, the hidden potential as well. That bumps her up again to 10 mil, and this is now a guaranteed crit. So, I mean, that's pretty good, like 25 million worth of attacks. Oh, and we get the extra as well. So that last one wasn't even the hidden potential. Okay. So yeah, full on her best turn, she can get 4 super attacks, but I think the enemy has to be stunned for one of the additionals. But yeah, 4 super attacks on her best turn, which is only against an enemy that can be stunned. But if that enemy is a tournament participant's enemy as well, then she also has 70% chance to dodge, which is kind of crazy. Oh yeah, I remember we haven't done this stage for so long, but yeah, I remember this guy does do the old guaranteed like supers in slot 1 every time, right? Yep. Videl dodge. Let's go. There we go. And then she takes a hit as well. Perfect. So she gets both her buffs. 12.6. I mean, that's the problem with doing this event, is obviously this event is a lot older, so it's a lot easier. But in fact, yeah, Videl potentially just solos this physical cell. Yep. Alright, well, GG. And then the final phase here, this guy, I mean, if none of the others count, this guy definitely is a tournament participant's enemy. We also get Infighter with Videl, which is an extra 15% attack. So no Tournament of Power, but we have Infighter here. So if we do this, and what's she at start of turn? 229, yeah, about 230 again on this rotation. But yeah, I mean, the fact that she gets up to like easily 650, 700k defense post super is pretty good. Considering she is kind of just like a random filler unit, I would say, right? Like, because I mean, realistically, who knows who this character is? I mean, obviously we know who she is. Like, we've seen the episode, the brief like bit that she's in the Tournament of Power. But like, she's not a character that I imagine anyone out there, when she was announced as that Peppy Girls banner unit, was like, yes, finally, we're getting her in Dokkan. But considering she is a very, very minor character, like, her EZA is pretty solid. I mean, the Peppy Girls team now is a fairly solid team overall. Obviously, there is that reliance on status effects a little bit, but I mean, you can see here, like, in this phase, we can't stun Cell, and we still did a couple of supers. There's the dodge, because, yeah, she's got 70% dodge chance against him, because he is a tournament participant's enemy. So, I mean, not bad. Comes in, drops a few, like, 7 to 8 to 10-ish million attack stats, gets some dodges, like, can't really complain. Unfortunately, considering we have Caulifla and Kefla and Videl, I can't imagine Cell lives this turn. Unless, of course, Caulifla just completely sells at the front here and then we die. But, yeah, Kefla, I imagine Kefla finishes off Cell. But yeah, I mean, just for like a quick little showcase of what she's doing, definitely not bad. I just think the problem is, like, realistically, where are you going to run her? Because I guess if we do an event where status effects and everything are in play, then I would throw her on the Peppy Gals team, especially if it's like an AGL enemy. If it's an in enemy, maybe not, especially if they're not a tournament participants, right? Because she still has the 50% chance to dodge, but I probably wouldn't want to risk it, right, against like a tough int boss. But yeah, like if you're going up against, if there's any event that is out or comes out, or a stage of any kind, right, that is a AGL tournament participant character, she would be a good choice for that event, for sure. Let me just double check here what her other categories are exactly, because like I said, that was her on double 170 leads, and that was still pretty good. So if you're running her on one of her other category teams, then obviously you're going to have a like the same kind of performance, right? Because like I say, she doesn't have any other 200% leaders. It doesn't matter if you've got characters that lead those other teams for like 200%. Obviously she won't be getting the full 200, but in terms of categories, her links are a bit weird as well. She's got Coward and Flee, which we're not going to see active very often, especially on like the Peppy Gals team, but she's only on Universe Survival Saga and tournament participants. So tournament participants could be a good team for her. You just have to make sure you have another Peppy Gals unit on there, which you probably will, depending on the team build, I guess. But yeah, I mean, she's a solid, she is what it is, right? She's like a random banner unit, not like a premium release, but she's pretty solid, and her EZA is pretty good. So all things considered, I would say that's a W EZA. We've definitely seen some weird ones in the past. This year has been mostly on point for EZAs, so yeah, I would say this is pretty good. She's not like a crazy game-breaking, like, best TUR EZA or anything like that. She's on very limited teams, but certainly, like, in an event where, like I say, if you've got a Peppy Gals team you want to run against like a AGL boss or a tournament participants boss, I think she's pretty good. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.